All right, had a couple tournaments this weekend. This is the first tournament on Saturday, Game 1, my Bretonnians versus a Vampire Count's army. And this is a list I haven't used much. I really like it. I have a lot of fun playing it. It's got my brand new Grail Reliqueue and my brand new Questing Knight units. They're on the lower left or lower right hand side of this picture. So I thought I'd bring it to this tournament and see how it handles. So the vampires, they've got direwolves with a Vargolf behind them, 4 wraiths with a banshee, a big block of zombies. There's a corpse cart, and then there's a unit of crypt ghouls with a vampire. I don't think that's his lord level. I think that's a normal level vampire. He's got his Death Star. He's got a big block of Graveguard, a BSB vampire, whom I assume is carrying the regen banner, and then he's got a vampire on a mount. There's some more ghouls, a necromancer mounted behind him, and then some more wolves. So I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking that I'm not really worried about anything on the board except for that Graveguard unit. I think I have a chance, if I can line up the right charges, to take care of really anything and everything else, depending on how it plays out. But that Graveguard unit, there is nothing to be gained from me charging into them, I think. Not unless I can get a rear charge or something. So my game plan was to try to keep the Graveguard unit out of combat, or at least out of combat with anything I care about, and then do my best against everything else on the board. So far right, I've got big blocks Knights of the Realm. I've got my general on a Hippogriff. It looks like he's facing left. He's actually facing forward. The wings wouldn't allow me to face him forward. Fast Cav, Knights Errant behind him. There's my Grail Reliqueue to the left of them, 25 men-at-arms, and behind him I've got 5 Questing Knights with my BSB. On the far left I've got 18 Skirmishing Bowmen, Trebuchet, the Damsel. I don't have her in a unit because I think I can just hide her in the woods. She got the spell that casts a magic missile like a bolt thrower, so I think if he leaves me alone I'm just going to have her peek out and shoot that bolt thrower at stuff. I don't expect it to go off. He's got too much magic, but that's why she's out there. And securing my far left flank are the Pegasus Knights. So turn 1, he races his wolves forward. He takes a Vargolf that used to be on the far right side and swings them way over to the left, more towards his middle. He moves his wraiths into the woods, and otherwise he moves up, as you can see. On the left, he moved his Graveguard forward. The ghouls, he's moving left a little bit, not sure why. My assumption is because that's where my Pegasus Knights are, and he doesn't want me just flying straight at him. And then during his magic phase, he grew that small unit of zombies out in the middle of the table. So Brett, turn 1. My Knights of the Realm on the far right passed their fear test and are able to charge the wolves, which is a miracle in itself. You can see I moved the other guys up. I'm trying to secure the hill with my Grail Reliqueue. I want the men-at-arms standing beside him. In my mind, the Grail Reliqueue secures my flank, especially if I can keep that BSB nearby. That makes him Stubbornate rerollable, as long as I don't get in combat where I lose and he has more unit strength than I do. And with most of his units, I think I'll be okay there. The men-at-arms, their job is really to divert anybody that starts coming around me. If that Graveguard unit comes around, I want the men-at-arms to force them to get in combat and hopefully come south towards my end of the table instead of towards my lines, which are going to form up along the right-hand side. Anyway, sorry about that long explanation. So I got my Fast Cav. They were on the right. I'm swinging them left as fast as I can. Their job is to divert the Graveguard. And upper left-hand corner, I fly my Pegasus Knights straight ahead. Not in a hurry to get them into combat, but I want it to be favorable when they do. So that's what they're doing. At the end of combat, my Knights of the Realm make short work of the direwolves, and we move to VC turn 2. So his wraiths are hanging out in the woods to where they can see out, but nothing's in range of them. Otherwise, he's not really moving forward very quickly with those things in the middle. The Vargolf moves forward a little bit, but the ghouls and the corpse cart just kind of hang back. He's racing forward as fast as he can with his Graveguard. He swings his wolves around. Remember, my Pegasus Knights are on the far left, so he has his ghouls just kind of facing towards my Pegasus Knights. So there's an overview of the board. And I have to say, I really like how he's playing this vampire list. I think it's real smart. His wolves can't outdistance my Pegasus Knights, so he's just ignoring me, which I think is smart. He's doing a lot of things that I really appreciate how he's playing it. For whatever that's worth. Anyway, so during the magic phase, he Van Hells the Graveguard unit forward. Again, I thought it was a smart move. I didn't want it to happen, but his magic phase was just too strong for me to stop everything, so I decided to let that through. Plus, again, I still have my fast cav and I have my men-at-arms. I don't care if I lose both of them, and so my plan is to use them to keep these guys out of the main combats. And that's just another look at the board. You'll probably notice a lot of his units are growing. I don't remember every time it happened, but you can see it. It's just what he's doing during his magic phase. So bet turn 2. Declare a charge with my general on the Hippogriff into the Wraiths unit. Obviously I'm using my ground movement, but there's plenty of distance there. So he does a stand and shoot, and he rolls a 9, of course, because they never roll low when they're stand and shoot for the Banshee Howl. Does 2 wounds. They both get allocated on my general. No armor saves. The word save is only a 6 because there's no strength on the Banshee Howl, and I rolled 2 6s to save it. So that was big. That was real big. That saved me 2 wounds on my general. So I got real lucky right there. Decided to dual charge the big unit of zombies just to get them out of the way. There's no reason charging with just one and letting those guys stick around. I secure the hill with my Reliqueue, reposition my men-at-arms, and reposition my fast cav. So I like where my fast cav's at. The problem is, if you remember, his wolves are off to the left, and so I need my bowmen to kill those wolves so they can't charge my fast cav. If the Graveguard charges my fast cav, that's just wonderful because that's pulling them the direction I want them to go. I decide not to charge anybody with my Pegasus Knights. I just land them behind his lines. I like the idea of charging either his Necromancer or maybe his Corpse Cart or maybe anything. I like the flexibility they give me back there. So on VC turn 2, he got Curse of Years off on my bowman and killed a few, which wasn't a big deal. On my turn 2, in my magic phase, I tried to dispel it and failed. I rolled 2 dice and rolled a 3. And so Curse of Years went off again. And remember, their role is to kill those wolves that are threatening the flank of my fast cav. And so many of them died, they failed a panic test and fled off the board. So that was unfortunate. At the end of turn 2, my general's just locked in combat with those wraiths. Remember, the Hippogriff can't help him out because its attacks are not magical. And I forgot to declare a challenge, which I think probably ended up for the best, because I think his Banshee would have refused it because he could have hid one person behind, and that would have left 4 guys there to attack me. As it was, the Banshee attacks didn't do anything, and I just had to take attacks from 3 guys. I think they did a wound. I think it was on my general. Whatever. He's locked in combat up there. Big block of zombies are dead. The bad news is he's got his Vargulf staring at us, ready to charge almost anything he wants to charge.